Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of my Terraria Griefer playthrough. Last episode I used the wondrous power of the Sandgun to absolutely decimate King Slime. Though, due to the destructive powers of the Sandgun, I decided to mildly sandproof my base. At this point I realised it was about time that I fall into the sky. That is to say that using gravitation potions I can go into the air and loot floating islands. They have quite good loot in terms of mobility, and that's why I was happy that the first chest I found actually had a shiny red balloon, which increases my jump height significantly. My second chest found had something really good as well, fledgling wings. They disable fall damage and let me fly, although it's very limited flight. But, I mean, any flight is flight. Immediately upon returning home, I set up a little testing area to see what blocks would destroy the sand projectiles upon landing on the ground. Because, trust me, if I could prevent my world from becoming covered in sand, I would prevent it. Though, in a classic me move, since it was a meteor shower and special bugs were raining from the heavens, I decided to stop what I was doing and spend 15 minutes just kinda taking them from the ground and putting them in jail, where they belong. That's not... I just wanted to explore my world. You could say that this fight should have been as easy as the King Slime one, and yeah, it should have been that. Except I started the fight at half HP, and little did I know I had no healing potions in my inventory, and health regenerates slowly, without assistance of potions or anything, so yeah, I was quite worried. Luckily, it's not the hardest boss in the world. But there was one more thing hindering me. You might be able to see it now. See that strange part of rope above that line of platforms? Yeah, that was actually what I had found out with my sand research. Sand cannot place on top of rope from the Sandgun. But somehow it did. Later I found out that if the sand hits an enemy right above a block it's not able to land on, it will hit the enemy, turn into a different type of sand projectile, and just place. The wind gave us the Shield of Cthulhu, which is pretty good for dashing, but otherwise it's not too crucial. This part was recorded a day after the previous part, but while I was exploring, I found one of the best things, one of the things I was most hoping for, when I realized how powerful the Sandgun was. A corrupt desert. Doesn't that just sound so inspiring? The Sandgun is really good and it does loads of damage, but something it fails against is dealing with multiple enemies at once. Because what the sand projectile does is it hits one enemy, and then turns into falling sand, which does hit enemies and doesn't disappear, but it will continue to fall to the ground. But that's when it uses regular sand. You see, ebon sand can pierce enemies infinitely. Now, upon saying this, I realized that that may not sound as significant as it may otherwise sound if you don't play Terraria, but I have an upcoming clip that you might find significant. It is a boss fight, but not now, I have other things to do. It is in this video. You may think I look crazy, but actually placing a lot of torches activates a quite useful event. One of the latest Terraria updates added a mechanic called luck, and one of the things you can do to increase your luck is use proper torches. I don't mean this by I'm going to place as many torches as I can, because look what happens when I do, but every single biome, almost every single biome, has a special biome torch, and if you use that in that area, you get more luck. And defeating this little event here lets you automatically place those torches no matter what torch you use. Unfortunately, I'm not good at dodging things. Luckily, upon returning to the surface, I did actually find an extremely rare critter. And of course, instead of selling it and getting 10 gold coins, I turned it into something useless. But pretty. At this point I was getting really into building houses for my NPCs, as you can see by this absolutely horrid looking house I made. Luckily I understood that it was horrible and promptly blew it up. Anyway, as I'm the person who edits these videos, I can tell you that, oh my goodness, I build so slow. I've never seen anyone play through a game so slowly before. So I'm not going to show you any or most of the building because like I can't even put it into words how slow I build. This building that I'm about to show you that ended up being here took like more than an hour. I was so bored that after building it I ran around for about 15 minutes just catching frogs so I could do something different. At the very least, while I was building, a goblin tinkerer that I had rescued earlier managed to move in, and that means I'm now able to combine some accessories, which, let me just say, is so very helpful. Very, very much good, yes. Wow, did that sentence just come out of my mouth? In order to further upgrade my special sprinting boots, I needed an Anklet of the Wind from the underground jungle. Fortunately for me, they can just be found in regular chests, they're not a rare enemy drop, it's fine. Unfortunately for me, I opened so many chests, and it took so long for me to find one. And the underground jungle is one of the worst places. Everything there can kill you, almost everything there poisons you. Anyways, enjoy. I did not expect that to take as long. Wonderful. After upgrading my boots, I decided to play with some dye. I decided to open the "You are going to die" chest, combine some dyes, and then work on my vanity a bit. In one of the more recent updates, Terraria actually added a bunch of vanity outfits. One of them, this wandering set, is actually very cool. I think it looks lovely. If you wear the hat or helmet thing with it, you actually have little firefly sparkles around you, but I didn't end up doing that because I love the fox ears. I always have the fox ears. Off screen, because once again, I build incredibly slow, I made a little town in the underground snow biome, because it was just in an awkward place where I couldn't easily teleport to it with the other town pylons. So yeah. Enough of that building pretty things. It's time for me to do something I said I would do a bit earlier. I had stashed away all my ebon sand specifically for this boss. Also specifically because I didn't want to spread the corruption biome elsewhere. Luckily, this boss can only be fought in the corruption. I needed a large flat space so that I could run around easily, so I decided to bomb the surface of the corruption that's very close to my base. Cause why not? The boss, Eater of Worlds, is very easy to do when you have a weapon that pierces infinitely, aka hits a target and doesn't stop, the projectile doesn't disappear. The Eater of Worlds is a worm boss, a worm enemy. I'll let you see what I mean. In order to summon the boss, I broke 2 shadow orbs. You actually need 3, but in episode 1 I broke 1, so that was already dealt with. And after the boss summons, I used my hook to ascend to my arena as fast as I could muster. The fight, which has a huge potential to be difficult due to the splitting nature of the boss, was made completely easy due to the infinite piercing ability of the Sandgun. I told you it would be helpful. During the fight, I found something really good for my sanity as well. Since the ebon sand pierces enemies infinitely and thus doesn't actually have a chance to turn into that special falling sand projectile, I don't think it can ever actually encounter that thing where it lands on blocks it's never supposed to. So there are 2 things I could do. 1, use normal sand in the Sandgun, do less damage, and my world looks kinda bad. Or 2, turn my world into a huge arena, covered in either rope or torches or something like that that sand can't land on, and absolutely shred all bosses in my path. You see, one of them's just a bit more easy to do, but like, I legitimately don't know which one I'd want to do. Also, upon defeating the Eater of Worlds in expert mode, I get a special item called the Worm Scarf. Why would I choose to equip it? It reduces all damage taken by 17%. Don't know why they chose to make an item that overpowered, but sure. I mean, I'm obviously not complaining. Now it was time to truly make my Hellevator into a Hell-evator. Upon defeating the Eater of Worlds, I get a lot of Demonite bars and Shadow Scales, which I can use to make a... I forgot its name. Nightmare Pickaxe, that's the one. Go me. I probably should have known that before I started recording my voice. Also, check out this hilarious pickaxe I got from fishing. He is trapped. He is trapped, he cannot get out, he is stuck in his vessel, he is himself, and that is sad. Using the Nightmare Pickaxe, and using the fact that you can just drink 1 potion and you don't take any damage at all from lava, I descended into the depths of hell and mined some hellstone. I can use the hellstone combined with obsidian to make hellstone bars, and with this I can make molten armor, which gives me lots of melee attack boosts and stuff like that, but I don't want to mainly use my mining tools for attacking. But I can also make a pickaxe and a hamaxe. Hamaxe is hammer axe. And both of them can inflict on fire! Exclamation point! Which is legitimately what the status affliction is called. To inflict extra damage over time, though it's not that crucial. The Sandgun still beats them by far. Also, with the power of Hellstone, I can upgrade my bug net into a lava-proof bug net. Using this I can actually catch bugs in hell that I can use for lava fishing, which I do end up doing earlier, though I probably won't show you a lot of it. Sometimes it can take multiple minutes to reel in a fish. Lava fish is so slow. But also it can destroy grasses, and grasses sometimes make little bugs pop out. So yeah, it's very helpful. Also, yes, can't ignore that meteor that just randomly almost hit my jungle base. Though actually they have a mechanic in it that means they can't land on places that are near to a chest or furniture, I think. So that's quite cool, it's quite helpful. Anyway, here's a time lapse of me mining it, except I did it in reverse because I thought that would look hilarious. Well, this episode seems to have come to an end. Before you go, I will show you this successful attempt of me getting the Torch God's favour item from the Torch God event. Enjoy.